back. I am glad that you guys are with us this morning. We're covering important stuff here. And I think it's important that Americans understand just how deeply betrayed we have been. You know, we covered inflation and how it's the new normal, and that you should be actively working to prepare yourselves and your families for a coming economic crush. You know, I just did an interview, and I just posted it up on americasvoicenow.org with Jack Spirko from the Survival podcast. And you can get to Jack's website at thesurvivalpodcast.com. Now, Jack is a well-known, well-respected man, and he doesn't normally do he's no Alex Jones or anything like that. He normally deals with preparedness and things like that, where he's talking about, you know, how you can be responsible for yourself and your family and your own well-being, water, food, how you can, build yourself a shelter that would and make your home energy efficient, so that you can heat with wood or what have you, if normal supplies, or even just effectively become efficient enough where you can, take care of yourself and not have to worry so much about, going out and getting natural gas or oil or whatever the case may be. We talked about in this interview, and I want to be I'm not going to spoil it, but we talked about during the course of that about what they're doing and what the government is doing to manipulate you into buying government bonds through your retirement account, and you don't even know you're doing it. And it's kind of the My IRA on stealth steroids in the 401k retirement fund industry. So I strongly encourage you to get to americasvoicenow.org, and right at the top in that slider, the image rotation, the first thing you click on is the first one that comes up will be the interview with Jack. Please take a minute to read the article. I kept it as short and sweet as possible just to lay the groundwork for it, and then please take the time to watch the video. Go to Jack's website and make sure that you're educating yourself. But part of the issue is that the media is not educating us about what is happening. I mean, Jack's right. Why hasn't the media talked at all about the fact that the cash option is gone from your 401k, and you can only now put money in short-term government bond funds? Huh? Since when? It's your money. Why can't you throw it into cash and just let it sit there? Even if it is going to be inflationarily stripped. That's your prerogative. It's your money. The media should be exposing this, but they're not. The media should be exposing what's going on here with Snowden. And they had inklings of it long before Snowden came out, but they kept their lips zipped. The media has sat here and sycophantically supported this president in the most heinous tyranny that the United States has ever experienced in our 240-year history. I'm going to give you an example. ABC, Nightline News, watched by millions of Americans. ABC, right? I mean, if you don't have cable or satellite, maybe the only television you get. They did not discuss or use the word ObamaCare for 123 days. Now, that's unconscionable. That would be like going to church and not having your minister mention the Bible for 4 months on end. You'd be like, why am I coming here? I mean, really. That would be like your child going to school and no discussion be had about history, math, science. What is it that you're spending all that time on then? Well, in ABC Nightline's case, they gossip about all kinds of things. Fashion, social issues, gay and lesbian issues, the changing societal issues. But they also talk about things like bootleg butt injections. Of course, this is highly critical and important to the nation because we all need to know if we should or shouldn't get a bootleg butt injection. I mean, that's really important to the overall American economy. That's important to whether or not their introduction is get a bootleg butt injection because it's never big enough. They sent one of their journalists, alleged journalists, to Caracas, Venezuela. And what did that trip cost? Well, they sent that journalist to Caracas to say, we're looking for a doctor who runs a backroom butt clinic out of his apartment. That's their intent. That's their interpretation of investigative journalism. The truth is, all the investigative journalism they need to do is based right in Washington, D.C. Any news organization that can ever figure out how to hire a small army of reporters and get them injected into the inside Washington mainstream, you will have groundbreaking issues that you can get the highest internet ratings possible. Because America does care about it. But, they can't care about it if they don't know where to find it. They can't care about it if they're constantly being told it doesn't matter. Or that they're being misled and misdirected in a completely different direction. They spent 9 minutes and 33 seconds on bootleg butt injections. And not one sound, not 1 second on Obamacare. Something that's affecting $2.7 trillion of our taxpayer money. Something that's affecting 1/6 of our economy. Something that is affecting, at this point, already 7 million Americans have lost their insurance policies. 46 million, according to the president, which I doubt, 42, I apologize. 42 million, according to the president, didn't have insurance in the first place. And now he's only signed up 5 million, and 7 million have lost their insurance. So we're 2 million in the hole. And they don't want to mention it. They don't want to discuss it. They don't even want to mention the name Obamacare. When you look at the news today, the vast majority of what they give you is propaganda. It is designed and geared to do one thing: to lead your mind down the path opposite of critical thinking, opposite of intelligent, articulate discussion about the true nature of what is happening around us in our country. Their job is not to be entertainment. We've got Hollywood for that. Their job is not to make the nightly news into a sitcom. We've got plenty of studios that make that and pump that kind of trash out in high volume. Their job is not to keep you entertained. Their job is to educate and inform you. And frankly, I am tired of news organizations that, for all intents and purposes, look down their nose at actors and then do the same exact thing. There's no investigative journalism going on in this country right now. None. Not even from your beloved Fox News. Murdoch and Ailes have that whole thing sewn up, and they've got you sitting there drinking the Kool-Aid saying, yeah, that Fox News, boy, they're fighting for us. Fighting for you? Like heck. Why aren't they mentioning Common Core? Why are they calling Snowden a traitor? Why? That comes out of every commentator's mouth on Fox News. Every single one without fail. None of them have stood up and said, I don't believe he's a traitor. None of them. Listen to them. You got a Bill O'Reilly, who's the most influential commentator, talk, whatever you want to call it, host in the country, bar none. Nobody has the ratings he has. Nobody in any organization, in any news organization. Not CNN, not Fox, not MSNBC, not CBS, ABC, none of them. He dominates it. He sat there and not so long ago said, for those people that are telling you that we are going to have a collapse and descend into martial law, don't believe that. Really? Hey, Bill, I don't know who gave you a crystal ball, or I don't know who is threatening you or paying you or corrupting you to speak that way, but I also know that you're right. You do make a lot of money, and you are living in a bubble of O'Reillyville that is not the real world, Bill. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, Fox News is owned by Murdoch and Ailes. They also own the Wall Street Journal, the other most influential newspaper in the country. And even though they would sit there and pretend that they're at war with the New York Times and the MSLSDs of the world, the simple truth is this. They're controlled opposition. They are there for the same reason that there is a Republican and a Democrat Party, to give you the illusion of choice, to give you the impression that you have a choice, to give you the illusion, the chimera, that somebody's on your side. What they're really doing is lifting off the top of your head, inserting a funnel, and pouring in the hot liquid of indoctrination. That's all they're doing. Nothing more. And every once in a while, they get caught off on a side story, like this stupid airplane thing. I mean, I'm not, how that has dominated the media is beyond my comprehension. I mean, I get it. It's important. But for it to be 24/7, 365, I mean, it's just insane. There are things happening in our own country, not just in the world, but right here in our country, that are absolute abuses of everything that our country is built upon. We are descending into a fascist dictatorship, and nobody's telling you. Not even Fox. Not even Rush. Not even Mark. Sometimes not even Beck. I get it. They've got ratings to protect. They've got families to protect. Who knows? I certainly don't know what it's like at that level. Maybe you have a visit from somebody who says to you, if you continue down this path, we know how your daughter gets to school every morning. I don't know. But I do know this. I wouldn't put that past this government. I wouldn't put that past these people in power to protect it at the cost of the life of a child, if they felt that that was necessary to shut someone up. Our media is supposed to be a watchdog of the watchdogs. We have a a three-party system which is supposed to operate like a triangle, interconnected and overseeing each other so that we are defended and protected from one of the three trident branches going awry, running amok, going rogue. The problem is that all three have gone rogue. I had a discussion with an attorney the other day, and he was trying to argue with me about the fact that the courts don't have power because they can make a claim and they can state that the government has to do this or do that, but they don't have any way to enforce it. They don't have an army to back it up. And I disagreed with him. I said that's not true. The truth is that the court has willingly taken a back seat, like a shy wallflower at the elementary school dance, and they don't want to make a decision. They keep saying, hey, that's between you guys and the executive and the legislative. We're not going to get involved in that. You guys hash it out yourselves. Well, go read the founders' documents and see if that's what their intention was. No, the executive was supposed to watch the judicial and the legislative. The legislative was supposed to make sure that the judicial was operating correctly and the executive was, and vice versa. I mean, the whole point was each individual was supposed to watch the other two. And then the media is supposed to stand back and observe all three and express to you when any one of those three drops the ball. So we don't just have a complete and utter abdication of the principles of the rule of law and the constitutional ideas of ethics and honor and integrity in government. We have it even in government and the media. I mean, what is the price all these people are getting? What are they getting paid? I mean, how are they getting paid? Who's doing the threatening? If your response is, well, see, maybe it's not happening and you're just a conspiracy theorist, then I invite you to take a look at the headlines that are sprouting up everywhere all day. And then read between the lines and figure out what they are really saying or not saying, or how they're misleading you and misdirecting you. But you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. There is so much alternative media out there that is not captivated by the 6 major corporations that own everything, that if you're unwilling to see it, it's because you're trying desperately hard not to see it. Don't tell me I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm telling you that you're part of the conspiracy, even if it's unwittingly, because you refuse to see that which is right in front of your face. And the real reason that you don't see it is not that you don't see it, it's you don't want to acknowledge it, because to acknowledge it means that you have to get out of your comfy little circle. You have to get out of your little happy box. You have to get off your duff. You've got to actually pick up the phone. You've got to take the risk. And you're not willing to. And for all your protestations to the contrary, you don't truly care about the livelihood and the success of your children, your neighbors, your friends, your family, and future generations. Because by the time the stuff gets to the stage where bloods are flowing in the streets or people are being imprisoned in your own community, it's going to be vastly too late. The truth is that every media organization out there, and I'm talking mainstream now, there are 6 major organizations out there, and all of them are completely abdicating any level of accountability to our nation. They are all interconnected. They are basically so deeply ingrained and own so much of the media. There was an article recently. I just pulled it up here. There's an infographic out there about it, but there's basically this article out there, and I'll have to find it for you, and I'll see if I can include it in the body of this or somewhere up on the website or the Facebook page. But it is basically a infographic that shows you who the 6 media corporations are and that they own 90%. 90%, folks, of the media that's out there. I mean, that's insane. GE. Now, first of all, GE, let's understand who GE is, right? A multinational who doesn't pay any tax in the United States. In fact, GE has not paid any taxes in the United States in years. None. And they own Comcast, NBC, Universal Pictures, and Focus Features. News Corp, the parent company of Fox, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post. Disney, who owns ABC, ESPN, Pixar, Miramax, and Marvel Studios. Viacom, who owns MTV, Nick Jr., BET, CMT, that's the comedy channel, or country music channel, and Paramount Pictures. Warner Brothers, Time Warner, who owns CNN, HBO, Time, and Warner Brothers. And CBS, who owns Showtime, the Smithsonian Channel, NFL.com, Jeopardy, and 60 Minutes. There are 232 media executives who control the information that is seen by 275 million Americans. That's one media executive for every 850,000 subscribers. That basically is like the House of Representatives. You know what their revenue was for the year 2010, collectively? $275 billion. 275, actually 276. 275.9. So I'm just going to round up. $276 billion. That's 5 times the bailout of General Motors. That's enough to buy every NFL team in the country 12 times over. And it's $36 billion more than the entire gross domestic product of Finland. The truth is, they control 70% of all that you see on cable and all that you see on television. And they control 90% of what you get in media, whether it be television or print. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. So the simple truth is this. When you look at, and I'm not going to leave radio out of this because I got 1 minute left, but I'm just going to throw this out there. There are Clear Channel, which is one of the largest radio organizations out there, owns 1,200 stations. And in some places, they own all the stations, like Minot, North Dakota. You say, well, what the heck is that? Well, why would they care to own all the stations? %80 of all the radio stations in the country, their playlists match. In other words, they're playing the same stuff in 80% of all the stations. So the simple truth is this. They merge and they buy and sell each other. But basically, you've got 6 corporations that control 90% of all the media in the United States of America. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know where the fault lies in why you are not educated about what's going on in our nation, that's it. Thomas Jefferson said to us, I know of no safe depository for the ultimate powers of the society but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it away from them, but to inform their discretion by education. This is the true corrective of abuse of constitutional power. But nobody's listening. Contact me at Mike at americasvoicenow.org. You can visit our website at americasvoicenow.org. Have a great day.